Assalamu alaikum, badin Gambia nolu. Assalamu alaikum, momo benani video jibela. Alal badin malem, silibo sonko aka bayo sonko Gambia. Bifanang, konsina nali kacha na kacha munna na kacha na bankola kola. Na kacha munna na kacha cool million ko welde be especially the special select investigation committee. Maya lonko député bu wala londi non pour ka kess zero ke na fulo la na fulo mel ya lonko yaya jembe la watu yaya jembe la watu tinyarol mel kata anen yaya jembe fon kabla ka bojang ay na fulo mel to koma albeya kalam dalako 2017 your commission on the government commission of inquiry me alonko ya tola jane commission niaje ya tola jane commission because uncle Surahata jane wala mod me alonko wala commission ni nyaton kaya bari be ya jele commission ni kabri commission of inquiry ni ke kulu melketa abe kumala baki pour na Gambian kulu kalam tan ni nyina along kukurun ning aka commence dulalato aka ban dulalato so melia lonko wol ma commence dulalo sa commence dulafo melia lonko wol ya commence dulalo ne ya temo long ya labango long wol fanan I mean si haklo bulende cool melia lonko wol lebe care because this is about our country. We have no other place than the Gambia dol mandula soto même manke Gambia oto ni atara ndol yekeloke na mansa kunda kudo samana na sindi nyimbanko kam o mansa kunda nyinko ya jembela mansa kunda men boto jang o mansa kunda tinyarol melke o mansa kunda na fulol meltinya nko puru so na fulol tanole ka banko samba ka banko londu ku. That is the main reason why the commission of inquiry. Why should you do a commission of inquiry? And each of these commissioners were paid with a lot of money. Commissioners were paid more than $100,000. Why a month? Why no killer? Already, Ndolko, na fulo tinyata. Ndolko, ya jembe na fulo kasara. Ndolko ya jembe nyapin komole na bankoka. Na commission olondi, o commission fa na molta ne tombong na doko dila. Mbe jokam kodibala. But ne tombong pure doko menke, ndol man nam fonje okono. Odoko man na banko na fa kenna odoko man nan ton na fa kenna odoko man nan ton na fa kenna anum mbe for the killing ha de mbe for the killing mo be understand because the commission of inquiry one another kan karandi another pour kan karandi tinyarol melketa sunyarol nyul keta nyaadi ha e keta nyaadi mbe o sunyarol nyulu mbe stop la no nyaadile mbe na banko protect la no nyaadile mbe mum fere le kala kaje ko o tinyaro lu mel keda mansa kunda kono o tinyaro lu nyulu wol kana ke kotanke. That was the main reason of the commission of inquiries. Anem kotanke mum kaje ko na fulol mel ya lon ko ya jembe ita mansa kunda kono ay dundu kolto mel to mbe wol sotla no nyaadile mbe wol sotla no nyaadile mbe wafile no nyaadile nana kodo sika na dundi na mansa kunda kono nana kodo sika na dundi mansa kunda kono na banko do kwala na banko do ko andu ni momo ka fale ko the $1 billion corruption is this ni momo ka fale ko wo jana commission kondo ta Gambia samba yodula wallahi ay wulu yala fale jana commission ye famo men be long ye famo men be tra ya jembe bulu wallahi ni atara num mo tren ni wala be nunje ni atara num mo tren ni wala do ko nyin tay mon be je e do ko nyin ke kilo wala wallahi binga men fon taw fola wallahi binga men fon taw fola because we trust them latela the jugoso de ne fa be dila in fact we even give them securities nke jo ko dola na security dila pour le do ko nyin ha o do ko nyin ko nim tapala ya fenti do ko nyin ko no ida mal nekina nyobala ko tapale al mabol ko binta kele sama go the $1 billion corruption is jumale na banko ko do sunya jumale ya jembele fangol nyapin kan ibe jumale bulo kono binka jumale je ya jembela bagasol be damen nga juwale jeje inam di billion dollar coction di ya jembela bagasol million ko dia en big coction go nga jumalel dia bala nga jumalel noje bala e kono le be jumale bulo kono be to nyal folo nyoy jam go ya jembe kata wato men na modol lonne be nyame ha na lonne be damen to na lonne mun compagnie le be bulu na lonne musia holel di compagnie le melto we know the musia holel di compagnie le melto no compagnie fran lonne motamo ni le jang. And we know, Jumalebe company operate Kanyim Banko Kanjang. Well, to my surprise, I saw a name 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏. I will post there, Minalamba Fulani, why 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏. More than Lakarala. Let me put that one aside. Let me put that one aside. 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏 ko no le Karala for Mina Auto Lembo from Fulani, Senea. Come on. They coming from Molo to go. I know how I put my case. And no amount of push, no amount of intimidation, no amount of threat. And I want you people to know that. Because in Teman Sila Mola, Adama Dungola, that's not Adonella. Ni Adama Dungo, Adama Dia, me ben to la banco, Suya, la Molia, for even Samba Kitula, Samba Kitula, Yagib, Samba Kitula, Neben Kitula, Nara Kitula from a mutual tat, Nabenge. But wallahi, Niel Sorom Kiti Bunkono. If you Niel Sorom Kiti Bunkono, Dunia Jam, Yomal Kiama, the Mel Sorom Jahana Mokono, because Ndabe Tonya Lakam, it be funny Alefe. Ndabe Tonya Lakam, it be mento, Bankudung la Halako, it be no water, Kadu Bankudung la Nafulo Yoleta, it be Balu Kangala. Bankudung la Nafulo Yoleta, it be from Pusur Kangala, Bankudung la Nafulo Yoleta, Yo Sembota, Yajai Bankudung Kang. That's a later. That's a later. E no luma yen soron dunia ko ja lonko lungolem tela wato banta o lungolem ni aga nyanda kan soron ne yen soron ni yen soron be la jele on be fala jele yomal kiyama din se beng ala wa yalon either I have evidence or I don't have evidence ala wa yalon either I have evidence or I don't have evidence ala wa yalon nda même fo photo nyante this is the truth mota mo baran la jam wala. So the thing is, Ghana Commission 2017 Ghana Commission yalon du wala pour que kiskisi roke ya jembela bagasulu ya jembela close associated mol mel yalon ko wala nak ya jembela na fulol bebul yo na fulol soto nyaadile woni mol mel yalon ko wala ni ya jembe do ko ke na fulol fintita masakunda kono o na fulol mel ye bondi masakunda kono on the receipt from the central bank o na fulol nyul ye ke nyaadile ye dépense nyaadile jumale bloko na fulol ta. That was the main reason of the commission. Nentonya lonta already. Say wo na fulol mel yalon ko ne long ne dundula long o koral mel yalon ko ibe ya jembe tolla ne long ne dinkra long. Isinawo koralta ni me wafila ne wafi dala dame ya longo abe banko na falale dame ya longo abe banko na falale dame ya longo is going to rise the economy of this country abe nyim banko la economy la wulindila but madum aliyalo no ko tilimbala le melka aliyalo no ko tilimbala le melka jam kabi yaje me ko di nyim banko kanjam. If you go to Bijulo itana Bijulo Ganya jele e ko be ñu hotel lo damento hotel oni di OIC hotel ngala jele ko ba lo damento aliya lon ne ni tamita jela e kadula bale soto. This place is almost 300 by 300 anyabe clean ni bale la ba Bijulo anyabe clean ni ozone la wodula ya sika iko ya di ya sika Mafias da Mali nyo bendi ya sika iko ya di jumala ya di one Egyptian wala alaji be woko ay melo ay villa and each of those villas ibe wafi can be $100,000 each of those apartments alialo ne yodi wala iko yodi wala minaka iko yodi wala because we GT board le law GT board juma ni tambila palmarima la. If you pass Palmarima before the Futala Kotu, imagine Udinko Kono je. GT board la o funko mel lon DJ GT board la o officer me yalon DJ yo sika yo dulata almost 300 by 300 meters naman siawati yo wala sika yadi mo kilimula see view yo wala sika yadi ala iko way GT board la dulala ni lo tolye bi o mari bo dulalo kan aka apartment on each apartment about Africa not less than $100,000 it's not a Gambian among in banko dude o kilimbala la kini banko kanja nitambita the next one itamen de koya di jumala areski ya ikoya di jumala areski koya di wala and the hottest part of it or the hottest part of it or the heartless part of it wala nyindiko na Gambia dengul meli alon ko wolle ben wo dulato the big bar boy soul wolle be wo dulato occupy for many years and ya jembe jamano ni ya jembe fitno soto ya jembe dulal boy yuni ya jembe time but jani ya jembe kata ya jembe ni negotiation okay they negotiate everything these boys are developing this area probably understanding jana commission kabra keta ala impact on the Gambians wala nambe nyum dulal fokali nyum fondin chawol be nyum dulal to inatana mineke yo dula France sika ya di jumala ya di areskila ko areska na hotel hotelo sani araski hotel lo this mean ko the Gambian boys me ya lon ko wolle be o bana la wolle dula senandi wolle le mon londo dula la ibe wol bayla o dula to comme ka fali en kany ndol bonne pa ya understand nyim banko kan klimbal ya ni masibo men kata nyim banko kan anu mafia do ne ba ko mafia o mafia ni diamu ta daro iko ide ni diamu do ni ko ni mede do be sambala kitiyo wala be nyim banko kan jam e control nde ntendela we are not going to be quiet we will never be quiet in this country as far as we are alive we will keep talking as far as we are alive we will keep talking wo badala ajele kabona Senegal me bana borondo just ya jembele born in saint tema foka naki burfoot for so bala ya beta ya be di the burfoot height yalong ya jembe burfoot height bondile yes yalo ya jembe burfoot very good alaji woni fa na very good yalo ya jembe burfoot height bondile kodi burfoot height yalo ya jembe burfoot height tal I reserve for us ya jembe ay burfoot height tale ay reserve for us ye burfoot ye burfoot height la comme ala CV wuni ya bele wafi ya bele tala nyotema ni diamu de ka ko allocation wala ali alo ne mel labanta oto ni alpha bari me ya lonko e ka fatlem de risifat bele living wo dulale to they are all living in the same area ngada mun da fala ala ne de so yemileke ida male nyo bendi ida malu ma fial milbo ma fonla itata iko ha iton malef moy dung iton nim bate they went to the same government itata minister ya be du nyokono ye mo la keno ta ya tala nyotema but anyway that is another time almost story doldi ngani mfalo do problème on sa ni jalo commission ay masibo melan tol kan ay masibo melan kan ha wala na manim la fokale but now madu now we are talking about the investigation yeah Gambia funding kawol findita Gambia funding call go we want the list of the people million na bangola fengol sang kadu ndek buga fa ya jembe fengol because the moment yata ya jembe bultorong these are not the properties of Gambia anymore these are the properties of the Gambians nyimu Gambia no la property let and I want people to understand this I want people to understand this yes the moment yata ya jembe bulokono ngo is owned by us ndole tam ñun ñoko mom ken momut ko kon suma halal yow buglo man mo wax ci suma halal yow ay kan na fengo kon ta canada am na fengo yow ay kan dina ko wax mba fo la bi mba fo la sam mba fo la bi mba fo la sam I am telling you nobody can stop me from saying that so mol tata mol ko mol go and somebody is just keep calling me. What if I from Gomurundina, you can request. Send the request back. So Gambia do only findira e call left a long. Yeah. They are going to set up a special investigation committee. They are going to set a special investigation committee. Right? And everybody was celebrating. But they are going to investigate. Mol Meliana Banko Kodo Sunya. Kada will investigate. Mol Meliana Kuale junior judge. Hey, Nalma long how to investigate a lot of Mole. Nalma how to deal with Mafias a lot of Mole. Dolialo na Mafia operate Nyadile. And that has reflected in your reports. The way Mafias operate. Companies will be built, the shareholders of the companies will not be known. If a company be findila, company melialonko be kala pseudo company leti. O company be findila, company melialonko motela shareholder lonna. They're talking to us about competence. Somebody's competence. You are asking about the competence of who? Mr. Alaji Muhammad Quran? Come on. Alaji Muhammad Quran? Come on. It's only a person who is dreaming will inquire or will question about the competence of Muhammad Quran. But we know the reasons why that word is coming. We know it. Because the report is not yet completed, and that also exposed the incompetence of the members at the members of the special committee. Their incompetence has been exposed. Then they cannot do the job. They did not try that, but they are not competent to do the job. And that is not from my word, it's from their own word. It will fall therefore. Because we had the chairman. We had the chairperson of the committee. They forget. And now after tabling the report, you're telling us you forget to put some stops there. Are you listening to the public, or are you dictated by the public to make your decisions? So in public yeah. Because that is what we saw was on Gambia Mensafe. So if it's about incompetence, if it's about competence or incompetence, when you direct to you people, the members of the parliament who were sitting in the Yalong Alma Gambia and they said, Allah has him. And the reason why they have to try and by all means, Kajoko, ya Umar Jatota, ya Samanang to NPP. Alialo. Okay, my love Kajam for the back. But because Mila will fall can, but it's not about them. Because my problem is I want to know everything. My problem is I want to know Jumala Nakodo Sunya. And Mela Nakodo Sunya, I want the parliament to come up with a clear recommendation. Ke Mario Samba Kiti or in a Bango Kodo Bondi. Wala Nakodo Sunya. I come more Samba Kiti because of competence or incompetence. No. Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. But in fact, the receiver. May I long go in a phone wafi. Gala Jelko million jel lebe mankering. Million jel the receiver. May I long go. You will bula wafi rolla. But in go, Alialo no wafi line for phone not into the game. Alialo. Ye bankola kodo ye bankola na flow basica ita mali pente kamenta ye mito ke damento na long where they did the meeting we know it ida mal kamenda ye so-called company yele. So-called company. E ka fa agressive. Yo yele. Nimbango kanja. Ye molla kodo, ye molla na fengol sika na fulo na material solbe. Ye be sika. Yes, mbekele be join Suleiman. Ye molla na fulo everything. Ya be sika. Ya di wole le kaya wa memmo ka ali amole ga memmo. Iko au fond, in fact, I'm on reconciliation of Becky. But anyway, I like Oliver. He's involved. Oliver.
No.
Similarly, it's in Anang. But the Matabi follow no. But now no Kibaro, member caring Yagele. Tilimba Mbeki in Bangkok, Ibaji can.
Okay,
Sleman Mood.
Yeah, well, Abaraka, thank you very much. Actually, I'm coming video, so I will bring you live from. So, the first thing that I want to say is, Janinian Commission Commission for the committee, to investigate, to investigate and look into the assets of former President Yahya Jammeh.
Yes.
And where the sales of the former president's assets. Okay. By a committee was constituted, a whole committee, to conduct an investigation. Guess what? At the end of the day, they also recommend that somebody before the subjects of their investigation before they investigated. That in itself is the height of incompetence. Regardless, let's not personalize this to anybody. These people were tasked with investigation.
Special. They call it special.
Especially, this was an investigation. They came out to say that they recommend that XYZ should be investigated. But Tambeduta is outrageous. How can you recommend for Bar to be investigated? What? You guys had the mandate, the power, the authority to conduct an investigation. In fact, a lot of time for your expert externally, your state resources will be deal. I'll parade our investigation. I'll cover recommend to investigate. Bawa Gambia fair warta de. Al nga sobe amuta de. Yeah, muntu wala investigation for muntu. You had the power, you had the authority. They gave you everything that you want. Money was spent. The nation gave you their ears. Mol bebe la moika ila. Banko bebe la moika. Iko investigation ok. Iparete ko te investigation or recommend ko dek. Muntu wala mesobe al. That is my problem. So in general, that in itself, committee ning I understand. How can you recommend that Barbie to be investigated? The word should have been prosecuted. But why is it that those words are not being used?
Means they have not done their job. Because they are tasked to investigate. So if they yes.
Yes. Perceived.
What perceived?
Conflict of interest. This whole thing started because the perception in town was Ami Bensouda was conflicted. This was the perception in town. Guess what? We gave them a mandate and task state resources. We gave them the ears and eyes of the nation to watch and listen to them. At the end of the day, they came out to say the conclusion is there is a perception that Ami Bensouda was conflicted. So we didn't move a needle here with this investigation. We didn't move a needle. With Ami Bensouda, the perception was he was conflicted. The perception was, that you came out to tell us, you believe that there is a perception that Ami Bensouda is conflicted. That in itself is like a taxpayer. This is a slap to the taxpayer. I'm not saying Ami should be found wanting. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying, we started, we believe, investigation on more investigate, and the primary subjects here of the investigation that we wanted, Ami Bensouda, Tambedu, understand. There should be a third person, Ahmad Ba, and with regards to Ahmad Ba, is the typical case of Bungo Boita Saka, because these people, Abdullah, I think what's on Gambia correspondence, if you read it, Abdullah Sise, they had a lead. In those words, but that was a lead. If you are conducting an investigation, somebody came to you, Ahmad Ba and that was a lead. But what did he do with the lead? In fact, what he did was he used his discretion not to follow the lead and not to investigate. If somebody comes to you by a kisikisi rola, you can't find evidence not. The guy does not have sufficient evidence. He gave you a lead. Go as an investigator. You use your discretion not to pursue it. And now, just okay, with Quran. Let me make this very clear. Kebalang nenata jabila on social media. Angkaran la lora nyar la angkaran. Nyata mala funga jab. I will never do it. But with regards to Quran, what I would say in relation to a comment for incompetence. Okay, the question is, Nico Quran is incompetent. About jail at some point. Kodi. Biralia bondi ale jumala kije commission. Birin Quran bodaje jumala saita Quran note. I want to ask this question. And that person, was that person more qualified than Quran? In fact, you saw that person, you saw Quran, you said Quran is more qualified, and then Quran became the secretary. Quran bodaje you bring in the substitute ala deputy. Did you address the issue of Kwafoko? Perhaps the secretary member among competent. Did you address that issue? No, they did not. In fact, the secretary was somebody, Mayor Lonko. He left a dronko member Keleje. Amari.
No, yeah. No, these people are cowards, man. They are chickens, man. They are chickens, man. A lot of chickens. They saw that after I left the place, they brought somebody who we also in the commission, and they admitted was incompetent. He was not sworn in, and then
the reason why I brought this up in my analysis as a question is because I saw this person testifying at the commission.
No, but Afa, what is even me? I'm a consultant. You understand? I am not a civil servant, and I was there because I never worked with Jame. I feel sorry for Kebalang. I feel very sorry for him because he wanted to talk about the elephant in the room, but then he think that he could sacrifice me, you know, by bringing in my credibility, you know, and taint it falsely. Falsely. I think Keba should have been. He should have been a little bit shy to say that because, first of all, as a qualified chartered accountant, he was not a qualified chartered accountant. He knows his own professional record. I'm not here to talk about him or to try to bring him down, but I think he chickened out. He did a very chicken thing because there was nothing. What he could have done was to say, Mamadi couldn't do this or didn't do this properly. In the investigation, everything was done properly as a secretary. And when I left, the house just collapsed. The house of cards collapsed. They themselves admitted that during the investigation, that all this mess happened after I left. So what is it that Keba, instead of talking straight about the point, but then the other issue is, if you see his speech where he said, oh, the secretary was not qualified. What he said later, they said that they have found a company, and that company, right, the lead counsel and the others, whatever, are owners in the company. With all the resources they have, with all the time they have, the incompetency became very clear. They have police at their disposal. Can you imagine, you know how many police these people have assisting them? You know how many accountants that this National Assembly have assisting them? Do you know how many, right, other investigators that they have assisting them? They have all these people, and they said they couldn't even tell who is the shareholder of a company that is already existing, a company that is already working, involved in a multi-million-dollar deal. They are not able to tell who is the shareholder. And then the worst thing is they have no shame to come and tell the people in public, in parliament, that it all found Keba Lang found in the commission, and he's telling the commission, oh, the special select committee is so incompetent, we cannot determine who is the shareholder of an existing company, when we know the other shareholders. They call people last minute, and then they come back and say, oh, we don't have time to investigate. When, as we are sitting down right now, they could have gone and investigated because their mandate is on as long as the report is not finalized. and their report is not finalized. So their mandate is getting to almost 9 months now. They have almost a 9-month mandate, and they cannot determine the shareholder of a company. It is so cowardly, so pitiful. I
would agree, there cannot be an excuse for that. A company that is registered in the Gambia and operates within the jurisdiction of the Gambia, a National Assembly Select Committee, which, by the way, should have even more powers than the Commission. Because the National Assembly constitutionally is the oversight body of our constitutional setup. So they have more investigative authority than anyone. They can go where the police cannot even, like,
no, they said instead of saying that, because they were there, they had a team of lawyers, not 1, not 2 lawyers, not 3 lawyers, not 4 lawyers. They had a team of policemen, not 1 policeman, not 2 policemen, not 3 policemen, not 4 policemen. They have a team of auditors and accountants, not 1 accountant, not 2 accountants, not 3 accountants. This thing is really compromised, because they come back and without any conclusive thing, they said you had police and lawyers and accountants and parliamentarians and you investigated. Then you said, let it go back to the police again to investigate. No, I think they exposed, for me politically, I know that 𝒂𝒏 was forcing it too much. He was forcing it too much. I feel sorry for him, because he started a war that is going to haunt him for a very long time unless he issue a public apology to me, right? I'm going to really hate him, and I'm going to expose him, because that was really faint-hearted, very faint-hearted approach that he did. But I don't mind about that, because what he says is not going to reduce my credibility. What he says cannot take away.
To exaggerate it, I would agree you are not qualified, because you are overqualified. So if somebody is overqualified, that could also mean that they are not qualified to be there. Okay? Because but the problem is here. This is the problem with when you give politicians investigative authority. They dive into issues maybe they will not be as important. Okay? But Ami Bensouda, for example, let's be clear here. There was a direct connection between her and a certain property, and that property was under her investigation. What is the conclusion of that? After 7-8 months of investigation, how many months now? At minimum 6 months. Yeah, okay. What was the conclusion of that investigation? How is it that never made the headlines? How is it that Ami Bensouda was using her staff? Commission what the agreement between Ami Bensouda herself and the commission was not even clear. But somebody was the worst lawyer the Gambia had ever had, and I really wish this man is tried. The Batambedu needs to face a judicial examination for this. I have never seen anybody in Gambia, any Gambian, who treats public office and public material with such contempt and self-entitlement as Batambedu. Go back to the case of our family, Nati, Dundi, in the diplomatic passport issue. You look at the way Batambedu rhetoric and tune, and you listen to Batambedu when he was talking about the parental insult on ministers and the president and the first family, blah blah. That guy is not for public office anywhere in the world. That guy should be prosecuted.
So,
yes.
So, go. Just 5 minutes.
No problem. No problem.
But I full for yasele. I full for.
Yeah, so whenever
Namu.
The point is here,
with the unique qualifications that you have, to be honest, if somebody said I'm not qualified, I would not.
No. I'm not. I'm not offended. I just know that there is a political. There is a political tone.
For me, it's more like a political.
It's political, but because for me, I don't have to go around Gambia telling people how qualified I am. I don't have to do that. People know me. Even before 𝒂𝒏 Fofana started his political or whatever professional career, I was into this. So I don't have to do it. But I know why he did it. But that doesn't pain me. What really missing is the fact that, they use that and then they run away from responsibility. They run away from responsibility. They pretend, pretend they got things that they could know. They come to the public and pretend that they don't have enough time to investigate. That's a lie. That's not true. They have the time, they have the resources, they have the means to go to any office and investigate anything. They had even got the power to arrest. Poor people may arrest. These people arrested people who came from poor backgrounds and sent them to mile 2. They said they cannot determine the shareholder of a company.
𝒂𝒂𝒏,
Yeah.
can you allow me? Can you allow me just 1 minute? You
Okay,
see,
okay.
regarding the Ahmad Bala coup, right? Billahi wallah, there was somebody, and this person was part of the people. Melia Lonko, Wolelian Ahmad Bala Nisol Sika, Ke Bulandi Fonkola, Ke Bulandi Motabala, Ke Samba to different locations. And this person come out, and not even the National Assembly were aware of it. Now it's just for the National Assembly to go to the place and feed it out themselves. Abdullah is telling us
No, Abdullah was not motivated. Bio. Well,
No, Abdullah is a straight. The chairman was
to expose Ahmad Ba. He was not motivated, but there
Abdullah was economical with the facts. He was economical with the facts because
absolutely.
Yeah, to say that, what are they looking? You're looking for money. They tell you where the money is. You say you are too lazy to go and find out because you have the resources. You know.
He used his discretion not to follow the lead, but I lead so the more not I sobendi. Akoy ko Ahmad Ba la ni solu 10 Ahmad Ba za fo enen ni sol sikana bar fo jannen dunia bay to ben history bu ko Gambia ni su ngala muti. No, let's be clear here. Let's be clear here because investigation of they got a lead. They got a lead.
Yalo main dimiang. This person
Along Nimbango malavi nimbango telina tonya lakang. Nimansa kunda kurumbalti, mansa kunda tapale balomide. You know, a government built on lies, deceit, manipulation, and corruption will never do right. Kolom tonyat. The whole point now is any commission or whatever committee they call it. Look at the composition of the committee. Now let's even say it's 3 people from the NPP.
No, it's 4 now. It's 4 because if you join the NPP before the report, you are part of it. Exactly. The report is what matters.
So that's the point. So saying Ning Obe caring it Jani report of Onga Fintita about independent they join the NPP. This whole point is that from the office of the president all the way down, these people were fraudulent from the beginning. You know, and what I don't understand, I only have 1 point. For somebody like that Keba Lang Fofana, Okaka, you know, I might have my own 1 or 2, you know, that I would not agree with Kurang, but is that the person to question Kurang's, you know, qualifications?
No, he's the wrong person.
You put Kebalang here, you put Kurang here, ko Kebalang naga Kurang yininga ila qualifications la. Moro wada Gambia ngame na nyanda Gambia wafila la wada.
Kebalang is very simple. You are a nurse. You went to medical school. You couldn't become a doctor. You just remain a nurse and then did some other courses, and then you say you are questioning doctors. He's never a chartered accountant. I praised him during the commission, but I knew that he didn't have what he was projecting to be. But I don't bring people down because I spend my life making people up. So when he tries to bring me down on such a national platform, I knew it is going to haunt him. So I'm not bothered about him, and I want us to just leave him outside.
Again, listen, look at the person that Kebalang is following every day as his boss, as the president. What qualifications does he have?
Exactly. And then he recommended Barrow for the highest job in the country. Well, he said a chartered accountant, which he could never be, cannot be a secretary. Can you imagine the contradiction of Kebalang?
Yeah, I think that's very personal.
He could never be a chartered accountant. Kebalang, you cannot be a nurse who failed medical school and come in the parliament and then you want to smear a medical doctor. Kebalang could never be a chartered accountant. He failed on it. But then he came back and then he wants to make a claim I feel sorry for him because he shouldn't do that. He shouldn't do that.
But the whole
He
point
shouldn't
is
even
that,
have
okay,
attempted that.
what
But just
exactly,
let's move to the key issues. I think the commission did not follow the money. They didn't follow the money because if you have assets, Meli Alonko, they are still in doubt. And then you come back and tell people to go iman time or soto. You couldn't investigate those assets. You have all the resources. In Conte, I know who was in there. I know their investigation setup. They have police from IGP, a lot of them. They have auditors from the Auditor General and the Accountant General. They have lawyers from the AG chambers. All these technical people they have at their disposal. So how can they say that we don't have time or we don't have resources? That is where they fail.
But what I do not understand is why is the office of the president in any way? I think, all the way down to the presidency, there was a lot of foul play in this whole game. Karundama mifaham kaniso wafu, uli lulula wala whatsoever. That is just unthinkable in this country. The whole commission in its entirety, and as well with this, select committee, they are just tick boxes. They did nothing good for this country. And the whole point is that this country need to change, and we need to bring in a proper government. Because whatever we point at, it all boils down to the same thing. The commission did not do a good job, and of course, Nganyindolo Fanandamini Alonko, they are just trying to do NPP whitewashing because it what exactly have they done? They just came out just give us another rubbish document when in reality they know they've looted these assets and did all the rubbish. And of course, so more nyanda minkela wala ngadam barula masakunda bondi Gambia. Either $1 or $2, we need to kick this government out.
Manu, Nela, I just want to ask you something. Hello, you got investigation. You got kisi Saite mira saying kisisiro me ya longo aketa already, but now ye mol melta ye recommend o mol mel ya longo ye blo chodu wolela ina mur kotanke iko puru police fane wol kisi kotanke ye na ke kitindi. How do you see that?
That is the highest level of incompetence. Qualify. Food and mobility. Because the whole point is that if you wanted the police to investigate it, take it to the police from the beginning.
From the beginning,
you, the select committee, actually did your entire investigation. How could you recommend the police to investigate? What is the police going to investigate again? That is what I do not understand. But that also goes to tell that the kind of incompetent persons we have in that assembly to even come out and try to tell other people that they are not qualified is gross incompetence and deliberate negligence of facts. And even some of the people within and around, and you told they are not overly clean. So these are the criminals within the system. How can a criminal investigate a criminal? How can NPP investigate an NPP government? Because 4 of these people are all there. So and okay, let the police what will the police investigate? Because within their investigations, they have police officers who were within. So police do malkotenke. So that tells you the composition of this is not just this, parliamentarians.
And
Behind
again,
the parliamentarians, you have police officers.
Okay, and again, I want to ask you something again. Now, imagine a report may along you already tabled it before the members of the parliament, already tabled before the parliament, and you debate about that report. The chairman come out and say, there are some things Melialonko, and already the report is been shared. Everybody have the report. The chairman come out, that they have mistake. They did not put there are some of the things they did not put there, but they will put those things there. I mean, what did that tell you? What did that tell you?
Okay, what I don't understand is this a draft or this is the report that is already tabled before the assembly and they are going to put some other things there. So will it come back to the assembly for it to be debated again or discussed again? But in the offing of it from the beginning all the way to the end, it tells about gross incompetence and inability to actually do the job.
Okay, let me help you. If it is a draft, for example, okay, if it is when they went to the parliament, okay, the minority caucus, what the minority caucus said, well, you to go, okay, let's postpone the debate. At least we can have about 3-4 days so that we can offer ourselves with the report. But they want to rubber it. They want them to debate it. the very day.
Bio.
Moro report ko dente je and report ko dente la fala je ñun la report o yemi ngomi foka ko ko dol man
Yeah,
ke
ngame ko resolution
it's
kele
only the complete
parliament pour
report you will
parliament.
bring before the parliament. You cannot bring an incomplete report before the parliament and the nation. That is in itself disrespectful to the country.
The mistake is somewhat deliberate because I don't know how is it possible that Ablai Malabaflanya, the former secretary Ibrahim Sise, Albania no ko toke list report on yung when you know that he was the one mayalonko double ramol kono mene bagasusan. And in fact, there were people many alonko. Those people, it was very easy to get a arrest by the end of this because one, I can tell you for free, I watched it myself and they didn't deny it. Gilma, ila pabiri ngome naraje. Ela nyaronko ala drive all be munisi sana ala drive on one of the junior staff me come consult pour kada nisol dal price and all that wol be munisi sana let it told be kaytol it all appear multiple time do konton korta do mal for balemba
but imagine they got a guy who was working within the commission mean sometimes akavoko atomo
get staff of na ya wolake
akatoke Amadou Tibi so ma atoke Ahmed Ti so ma atoke Amadou Bambati mo kilunga nying what is more fraudulent wal nyanda arrest la immediately it all kitindi but the whole point now is even at one point you realize that even State House was actually trying to put their hands into the affairs of the so yalon na ko ni nyimu kula de yalon ka julo jam
the problem is I don't have a report buried. Let me just make that clear. But the commission of GB, we know there were confidential files that they were not willing to disclose. And they were directly tied to the president and his office. Yeah, understand? So what entails it world of Manfred law and a recommendation about those things and the matters they are relating to. So of course there is too much of politics in all of this. NPP lanung. The vocabulary would have been different.
No, the whole point is that and yalong more becoming on neither conte ko B. Kurang is unqualified or not qualified. But who appointed Kurang? The government of the Gambia. Where does that leave the government of the Gambia and the head of state? This whole thing, the summary of it is that we have an incompetent government that is unfit to rule the Gambia, that need to be giving a red card to leave because they are corrupt beyond measures. And the whole point is that they will do everything to cover their own corruption because they are being investigated by their own tools. So this is not an independent inquiry. It is actually NPP investigating NPP in its dominance. And then Tilimbalian in to conceal that and try to use other people as scapegoats. The whole point is that Barrow and his government is as corrupt as anything that anybody can imagine.
Do you forget that the former Minister of Finance, Mambure Njai's name was adversely mentioned during the Jana Commission. Now, the president went, and he knows very well because Mambure's name is mentioned. Mambure's name is going to be, come in the reports. The president went and appointed Mambure as Minister of Finance. And that was the only reason Batembedu is saying, that was the only reason Minister of Justice, they are saying, they did not, put, or the cabinet is saying, that was the only reason they did not put Mambure or the Minister of Finance into the committee, the Ministerial Task Force Committee. So that alone shows you the interest of the president, that the president did not have any interest. Because what he said, he did not have any interest, because if somebody who is already conflicted, you allow that person to become as the minister, to be the custodian of all the money, because it's about money. You don't take a commission, go. It's about money, it's about us to have money. So if you come and bring the same thief to be the minister of that money, what are you telling us?
Gambia always sun suluto la bulu. Ndo onte jagan te jomol tasila. Angola, I'm gonna leave you, man. But honestly, I think Gambians need to come together and change, man.
No, we'll come together. No, we will come together. No, we will come together. We will come together.
Mansakunda minna sunya arona la tapalia na la bandia ko nyim mansakunda nena maje dunia adlado. Mansakunda minka niso wafu kemelulla wala keme konontola. Moro nena mo moy dunia adlado. This government is the worst that you can think about when it comes to economic crimes and of course looting at industrial scale in this country. and then they will use their own people. How could you even imagine those people within that committee? Dole beje wal nara la fa NPP kan ko lebe tonya sabatla ntolni wal tema wala kaje ko Gambian ko le tonya so do, on things that definitely have to do with their finances. Anyway, I hope that people understand what's going.
And again, the report also said, "Ako, Gambia la main garage where Sadona Fongola Moto, Sadona old vehicle of Belon Damento at Kotu, the Kotu Central Garage. They sold the Kotu Central Garage almost about 33 million. But what happened was, Simon Madin sang. But when they were Kabila sang, the transaction did not go well, so they canceled it. But up to now, Simon A. Madin is using the complex. That shows how the mafias are operating in this country. They are more powerful than us. Where are they paying the rent? Because if Simon Madin is occupying that place and he did not acquire that place, who is he paying the rent to?
So the transaction did not go through. That means that's a failed transaction. There is no deal. But he is actually occupying the space.
Yes, he's occupying the space up to now.
Gambia diara more than Ghana be mo ni ka be mo ya ke kam fa.
Anyway, Monday no play that. No problem, thank you. Thank you. Sullivan. Mana ndo wa fana sama na fa na full of, Yeah, so I mean, whatever. Wow, whatever for them. Yes, so.
Yes.
Bilong ko amo remember killing in Bangkok.
Mbela moiro la no, yes, murunda nane.
The prank nation.
Wala the prank nation.
Nina reka binyana go they know go la fonje.
Gambia, wala Gambia. Yemen for mafial in Gambia banko muta ya control mafialo. And if you come after them, you agent will men soto menanko wolele muy daldi wolele ke keloke, they come after you. They come after you. Unko ite institutional men investigate. Ite found la law firm. Ite la law firm. Wolebe luring wole. Is that not conflict? Unko for Gambia no manya na kadiam wala kola ban. We should talk about that, not about somebody's incompetency. Incompetency, more competent among incompetent. Where Gambia na famina. Gambia tola na fulo is at stake here. That's what is important. Not in incompetency or lamina incompetency or bakar incompetency. Oman Gambia na fa. Me Gambia na fa. Ntobe men yininka wala ko Gambia na fulo le kasarta. Sila Gambia la nafulo kasarta jumale be responsible ling wala. Nganu lubula wala pour yo ko nyine kisi. So ko kisi lo ay lan kene man nyebang without covering anyone. Musa said, do you want to come? Okay, send request, no problem, send request. This is the problem. Billahi wallahi talai. Bensouda family, I don't hate them. Billahi wallahi talai. I have no personal grudge against them. But loba nko mo kana akana come nte na fulitiol muntu kodo muntu at the first place yo kodo fon soto nyaadi la kodo fon soto nyaadi le kodo nyim fon soto nyaadi le. That's what one has to ask. Yala Gambia no bo ikamoje dron ko ye moje na fulo babulu dron yes kilala. You're paranoid because kodo la babulu. Abe trimbalia abe tarjirante ya ba kele kan ebe taraderi ngita femfola. You know.
Last time ni atle but mala why amanda.
Yes, so this is the problem.
So yalong membe keni yaje wala nende buge danku ni ko abunte ko yekar nyol konne and I just remain quiet.
Iko wala fo iko ka fo ko commenter ngol konne de able
mo entelong de buga mo kong. But the thing is here ndaka to nyaale fo absolutely fo aninka mo kong aman killing.
Yes.
Mbe kole fo kala jam meli alon ko anyanda kini masa kunda limbali alon anin ka long because yalon membe keri the National Assembly niaji be the National Assembly for example niaje nyinju jayo bebe kala kule be keri kule ya sabu Suleiman almalo kule ya sabu. Yalo menketa. Because kiskisiro menketa eseleta kujama balle kan. Baru ko le seleta kan. Niaje. Itara modo no ma yesamana NPP. Kuti alonde. Bari adama man follow de. Yalon kodo be commission kodo findida commission to mobe ma wolong. Because there are people in the commission meli yalon ko mol lata wolla mol jigita wolla mol tata wolla kan duma kadiya muli ka ko nyinni be kering.
Well, Umar Jato Jamme fon la ta NPPs. There's something fishy. There must be something fishy on that.
Ngamem fo ngo. There are special MPs here meli yalon ko mol lata wolla ko be fonni ko do lata lele fonni ko do ya fil mo do ya fil ko nini benta Idiamute Yakuma Foe, Idiamutura Kane. Modolu, some are family members, they report their own family members into this commission because they love the country, because they have seen the cry of the nation. We are not asking them to investigate for the police to come and do another investigation. That's not what we are asking. That's not what we are asking.
Ni abla enya kasala kadana wolo tele is rubbish. Mba block la this block. I will block him. I will block him. The tribal issue new someone na wolo to wrong I block you. Yeah. Yeah. These people need most if all can irritate more. More important issue for can it a tribal issue for tribal come 1908. But tribal we are not looking at tribe here. We are looking at our nation, boy, how to progress our nation. Absolutely. Well, problem more di kole diamo kanja. You know. The elites, we have to stop protecting the elites. Wole be Gambia. Wole be Gambia. Wole nyantaka stop. Okay? Nakare, wole nyantaka stop o banko kang. Nakare le nyantaka stop banko kang. Gambia tonya folal ni pareta ka tonya fodrong mole kanake naji ke nakare. Tilo nyama. Wallahi katonya nakare. Wala man betea. That's absolutely wrong. Absolutely. In unko conflict of interest. Ani incompetency jumala conflict of interest. Niko mo you are conflicted. We mune firile. We mune man bafla wala meaning mo minati. Min dumala instead na fast to no jele dumala nga kule tamande même man finti fenne banta tama duma intela interest kan o fenne mola benta represent kan duma on behalf of me and I benefit from it. Well, conflict of interest. So nitala law firm the social security represent kan. And at the same time, it will lead council to investigate that institution. What is more conflict than that? Gambia no lang more to favor. More competence and incompetence, that doesn't matter. Okay. Iko kurang man competent, okay? Let's agree to disagree. Bambe menasa ema for kurang corrupted. Yale ema for corrupta.
Emaboko is having conflict of interest when I move from farm.
Silangana jibe conflict of interest and incompetency. Gambiano mune sula.
Yalo menkeda. They want to talk about the conflict of interest, but they don't want to talk about the conflict of. Imagine, look at the way they were framing. Look at the way they were explaining the conflict of interest. That's so go Mafias ka opere wala nyama. Hey, Suleiman. Yalong wala nela modul je diablo ko itara university itara dula to billahi ko do be janna ba ngai ko na dunia tama otumo man dunia tama. Na international representation ko otumo man international commentation ke. Kai ko kaman ka foko ka angale bafo kaiti ba mu de bulo ko and to have the wisdom is completely different.
It's completely
To lim
different.
mafia le
Absolutely.
do ko ke. Dole mafia la operation o fente gentleman mello. Ni mo amra go ma nyaaye jam compagnie betara jam compagnie melia lonko ite imagine a company registered e ka fa molye ko you tell us ko you don't know the shareholders of that company.
Ebe jelba, ebe break kanon. Ebe moy kan. Ebe break kanon, no? Say ka moy la. Yes,
Hello,
yes.
so
Yes, I'm be moy kan. Yeah, what mo ebe break kanon.
the break
Okay.
and you know I mean more
Ha,
important.
ilan
So ngam
network
fo
ko
ya.
nyina. Ha.
So
Tente.
ngam fo ya.
Ha.
So ngam fo ya je mafia ka operate nyame. Ni compagnie yele e ka ke mole to le me ya lonko amari be deal kan what but amari comme amari ma Morio Mari long business olale. And that takes me to one guy, namen to moy ikavay ko Ibrahima Jete. And okay, hello, Ibrahima Jete. So Ibrahima Jete toje. I know Ibrahima Jete. Natara Ibrahima Jete lem. I know what Ibrahima Jete me ya lonko ala I real estate do koke. I know I can know what Gambia kono siata back. Ibrahima Jete.
Okay. Yes.
I can know, but say Ibrahima Jete jani masakuna kafali. Ibrahima Jete la business was almost down. So Kanaka Funyako, Ibrahima Jete, what time so and so real estate, or is part of shareholders of so and so real estate, Melaflako lo nyato do Monday. Right? You know, Nimako Nara Suntawale, Yalo Dima Naya Park, Ibrahima, I ain't gonna back it.
Yes, yes. Sunte osidal.
Naga Kella, but I ain't gonna back it, Naga Kella back, but I ain't gonna back it. I couldn't Suntawala.
Ha, problem saje.
Let me see Bekono, you know, ate buka kuya buka dia ate mo wolde so yalo ne no bare yalo ila musindu be jande kasa ala jang abe gambe jang amon kumandi amang text amon fe na text ga
kasa ndena be kuya
nga bare dia text la nga anti kasa nga bare be gambe jang anti kasa ani kon kumani ani ke diu kumani kam ko banandi majibe na text amon son respond na answer ndo nda dan kula wo e famle so Apo UMC boys we are not enemies. Ndol is about the country.
Absolutely.
We are not enemies. And then the thing is here, we agree and disagree.
Yes.
But at the end of it, make a kukuli na yini. We want to change the government. So when it comes in terms of national issues, all of us have to be bold enough to speak the truth.
Absolutely.
This government, we all know this government is corrupt.
Absolutely.
And we all know, if a member tapal count is all about covering, but they cannot. It's a form of a cover. No, it's not possible.
Well, I'm doing that.
The $1 million or the $1 billion coxonome along going by left a whole job. Go. Melena banko kodo sunya go ali samba police ye ali samba kitiola. Melena banko kodo sunya. Now but all fanan kodanke go. Na kodo melbul al na kodo table. Na kodo melbul al na kodo table afu na kodo sendi. Melena koral ta na koral be mol melbul ala fo yen na koral sendi ma. Is that a crime?
Gambia dingul tamu na floti ye sendi.
So mira sundo ba mbebul la jang mbeda mabul la jang ifle tra kayamwe.
Okay, ta. Walam, la moy laro investigation be keka. Ebe investigation on. E abla sise ko mole nata ya
So you can send request again. You can send request again. Malam neke neto ko fengeta, you know. Last time malam neke I try to add you. Abuka nano, but malam what's the problem, you know? Yalo. No, malam milela pomoti. So guys, I mean, at least left like a slim one bullet down for nine. Good. Yo, short.
Yes, not
Lambo Malay loku because I now be bullet.
all
All right, last time I found ambassador kind of man probably do know. Hey, yeah, you can continue. You can continue. It's all right.
Yes. 1 minute. Yes. Yalla Gambia sunde wato sidol. Okay? Ibe kisi roll. Abla sise be kisi roll. Okay. Mo la nata je mo ana